Alright everyone, welcome to our Wednesday comment review video. I'm going to go through last week's comments. There were some spicy ones. We do a little bit of spice in our life, and we have some good ones, and we have some good discussion to have here today. I'm really looking forward to this comment review video. If you want to be in this video, leave a comment at some point during the week, and you might get into next week's. You just might. And of course, you should like and subscribe as well. You know, that would be really cool. We'll start here with the video that I uploaded on Friday about how our events ain't so hot right now. Zero KOR1 is starting us off with a bit of a cold splash of water in our faces, saying, in all honesty, Digimon is ramping down till its eventual closing. The game is struggling with power creep, pricing supported events, and locals, and from the seams of it, no genuine desire from Bandai to step things up. If you want to play a competitive game, look to either Magic or Pokemon, and if you just enjoy the game, that is fine too. Hoping for sweeping balance changes or more effort for support for competitive seems like a waste of time at this point. That's like a nice dash of cold water, huh? You know, again, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't think Digimon is anywhere close to dying. I'll talk about this more in later comments as well today. But Digimon is just churning and burning right now. Is it churning and burning in some areas that are good, but also bad? Yeah, absolutely. Nothing's perfect. It is unfortunate. My counter argument is they are putting they're putting a certain emphasis of certain things in the game, like the online client. That's it? Okay. Yeah. So, like, Digimon, Bandai is still supporting the game. I don't see Bandai going through all the effort to make an online client just shut the game down. I don't see that. Maybe 5-10 years down the road, different conversation. But no, not now. Digimon is still fine. And yes, I don't hope for the things that I want to see anymore. Like more in-person events in Canada, like a more skillful game. That's gone. I hate it. I hate that that's where my thought process is. But, it's just the way it is. But I have more to talk about that'll address this, so let's keep going here. Eagle says there's two parts you're missing for events. Number one, Store Championships regionals are around the corner. Number two, the events we have had don't even cap. So what reason does Bandai have to give us events? Last time online Ultra Cups didn't even half of the capacity filled IRC. IRL events at Gen Con barely half capacity for the regional and not even 16 people for the second Ultimate Cup. Players need to be playing in events to show we need more. Our last 512 online Ultimate Cup events didn't even have 200 players either. It is a lack of players playing for why we probably don't have more events. I'm going to address this in two parts. Number one is just wrong. Because in my video, I actually did mention at around this timestamp, 8/11, for those of you in the comments that are going to say, oh, but we have Ultimate Cups, also Store Champs. I said it actually right here. I acknowledged it. And then I mentioned that's not a good enough reason. And if you even look here, hold on. You look at my face here, you know I'm real. That's a real Mario face right there. But so that's fine. Eagle is not right about this one. But I actually got to give Eagle credit for the second point because he is right. The last events did not cap. And that kind of leads to the question, why? Well, let's talk about Ulti Cups for a second. This whole Ulti Cup side event thing, I think, is a cool experiment, but failed experiment. I don't think it's the way to do things. I think it had its hype period. People really liked it, but the prizing isn't worth it. And that's part of the problem. The prizing is really not it. Yeah. And it's not really the best thing for a side event. When you think of Yu-Gi-Oh! Side events, for example, you have Attack of the Giant card. You have Seal Starter decks. You used to have Time Wizard format. You know what I mean? Those are all things that come to mind, right? Where is Digimon's Attack of the Giant card? I bet if they did Attack of the Giant card, those would sell out like fucking crazy. But no, that's just not where we are right now. So I think the LT Cups, while it was a cool idea, just failed in execution over repetitive time. And then we move on to just not capping in general. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Lately, events haven't been capping, and there's multiple reasons why. And I'll stand by these following reasons. The price support is not what it used to be. The game isn't what it used to be. I'll say it. Absolutely. I think if people enjoyed playing the game as much as they enjoyed playing the game 2-3 years ago when events always capped without question, like you would see events fill up, both online and IRL. The problem is that's not where we are. But you know what the bigger problem is? Bandai's become complacent because Bandai knows they're making enough money to be happy. They don't really care, right? They just, unfortunately, don't care. They've made a decision. They know that they're going to make money off of every booster box and case they sell because it's print to order. They know that whenever they do their premium things in the Bandai store, they're going to make money on that because it's print to order. They're never going to print extras. Except for a little bit of extra you got to print for like shipping and problems and whatever. All that. But yeah, and then they're going to make the online client, which will probably have some kind of online currency of some sort, like buying packs. And Bandai knows that people are going to spend money on their things. They don't really need to have events for it. Like me, I'm probably spending $2,000 when the Digimon client comes out, assuming you can buy things on it, like packs and whatever. And like, Bandai knows this. Bandai knows there are people out there like me that are going to fund them because we just want to play the things, despite what else they're doing. They might be fucking everything else up, but Bandai knows they can still take our money. So why would they change? You know what I mean? It's a really shitty way of looking at things, but I think we need to really speak out to Bandai, like on their surveys and their questionnaires, as well as other forums that we can try to speak out on. I don't hear anyone talking about Attack of the Giant card for Digimon. Like, why isn't that a thing? If it is a thing and I forgot, tell me. Like, I don't think it's a thing today. And that would be just fucking cool. So, I think Bandai needs to change how they're doing events. Ultimate Cup side events are not really the thing. They aren't, unfortunately. Hopefully in 2026 things change. Moving along, Drakito says, it's getting difficult to play Digimon, rampant power creep, and less interesting events. Most of my friends keep playing because it gives an excuse to hang out. But that's me. Literally. Like, when I went to Niagara Falls for that most recent Digimon regional, I went to hang out with my friends, a vault and the gang, and have Niagara Falls for 3 days. Playing Digimon was secondary. And that's just the way it kind of is, because the game fucking sucks. So that's just where from gameplay perspective. So that's where we are right now. And this guy, I think, hits the nail on the head with a very concise statement, unfortunately. Moving along, Glino Marauder. I like this guy's comments a lot. He actually has 2 in this video. I will always appreciate in-depth and honesty, bro. Whoever this is too much spice for is a crybaby that associates their identity with things said about a TCG they like RFL. It's the same shit when people take it personal when the weed they shared sucks. Chill, bro. It's not like you birthed the thing. It's true. I did not birth the thing. I am just one of probably the louder voices when it comes to addressing constructive criticism and concern, which some dumb people, as he mentions, will consider doom posting or whatever, instead of just understanding we provide suggestions and are critical so that we can try to enjoy the game a little bit better. But, different topic for a different day. Wanger. Good thing I bought my Pyramidi stuff when I thought the deck looked fun. It extends making the deck more fun. I agree. I got the whole deck. I'm excited. And it's good value right now, so I'm happy. Glino Marauder, what's up with Yu-Gi-Oh lately? I'm out of the loop, curious. Tell me what to Google to check out what you alluded to. Yu-Gi-Oh is just kind of a crazy game right now. It's actually becoming cheaper to play, which is really cool. I might do a video on that at some point. But they got rid of Time Wizard format, which kind of sucks. We're having turn 0 kills almost, which suck. But, that's Yu-Gi-Oh! Why not? Max to Paragaming. I'm thinking about doing some market watch content for Riftbound. Any tips or recommendations? All right. I think I cover this topic maybe like once a year or so. People will ask, I want to do market watch. How do I do this? I'm going to make my suggestions very quick and concise. When you're doing a market watch, you have to be authentic and genuine. Not so much this year because I've basically not done much with Digimon sales this year, but like 2024 even and past that, before that. The things I recommended on Market Watch are typically things I did myself. When I say, well, I'm buying this card, because I'm actually buying this card. Or I'm selling at this price, I'm actually selling at this price. And like, I suggested things that brought me success with all my sales. Like, just kept making money, money, money using the tips that I suggested. So like, I wouldn't try to gaslight. I wouldn't try to make up shit out of nowhere, but actually have real, authentic, genuine advice and have an understanding of markets, which I do. If you can do that, you're fine. Suggest to people what you would do, as long as it makes sense, right? It's easy for me to do it because I have a background in finance and I have a lot of time in this field. I can freaking move the waves with this thing. I feel it sometimes. But, that's the advice. And don't do it with the intention to try to get cards to get bought out. Because I know some people in the past have been like, oh, Mario just set this to manipulate the market. No. We said it because it made sense to say it at the time. And if it happened to explode because of that, well, that's just content creator things. It happens sometimes. Just do what you would do. Do what makes sense to you. For Riftbound cards, if you think buying a certain card for a certain price is smart, because you read the card and you say, there's no way this card ain't going to go up in price. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's got to be higher than this. Then you just go with it, right? Or if you think this card is way too high right now, you should sell before it crashes. That's what I would do. Then that's what you tell your audience, right? I think it's that simple. So I hope that helps Max and anyone else that thinks about Market Watch content. Paul's Gold Weapons. I haven't watched the video yet, but I agree. The Scrambles give every deck access to basically an unrestricted green plugin and trash recursion. A lot of people want green plugin banned for Sakuyamon, but everyone ignoring that Scrambles were in the deck OP. I would be I've said this before. I would be super surprised, and I think it's incredibly unlikely that they hit Scrambles. They are broken, but I don't think you hit one Scramble. I think you hit them all. I think Bandai isn't going to do that, because there's still Liberator starter decks on the shelves. So it'd kind of be foolish to hit the Scrambles, at least now. And I don't even think they're going to get hit at all, in my opinion. They'll hit the other cards that abuse the Scrambles, but not the Scrambles themselves. Sally. This was in response to me talking about Royal Knights, like, what do you hit? If you hit certain cards, it doesn't do anything. If you hit certain cards, it kills the deck. What do you do? Well, Sally here says you do hit Drazzle. It's true that Royal Knight is difficult to hit because nothing really cuts its power anymore. There's just too much value in playing big bodies for free when they can now have Rush consistently and always impact the board. Hit Drazzle, kill a deck for like a month, and a new Drazzle comes in B23 to make it fairer. It's not a terrible idea, but I don't think Royal Knights are at that point, honestly. I really, really don't see it. Like, maybe it's just, I don't know. I don't have a problem with Royal Knights. I don't play much Digimon anymore, but like whenever I play against it in our testing or in locals or whatever, like I usually steamroll it. But I understand that's not everyone's perspective on the deck, and some people will say, this deck fucks me in the ass all the time. So like, I understand. I don't know. Maybe this is the way to do it. I have no idea, honestly. Someone else will say, hit Omekamon, hit BT17 time, or not, sorry, I'm thinking the wrong deck. Hit Omekamon, hit, what the fuck's that card called? Royal Knights of Purge, or whatever. Like, I just don't see it. Like, doing anything. Maybe you hit multiple cards that are, like, not a big deal, and maybe hitting multiple cards that aren't a big deal actually make it a big deal. I really don't know. I don't know. They don't usually do that, so I don't think so. Adam TCG says, I'm sorry, Mario, for saying negatives on your stock market video. Honestly, I'll take whatever content you want to give me. I'm thrilled with it all, but I thought I should have my 2 cents worth. I listened to every word you say, and that vid just had me drifting as well. Karen, mother, you're doing fine. I know I'm doing fine. And thank you, I appreciate it. I will make the content that I want to make. I will. You know, every time I say the next thing I'm going to say, I always lose subscribers. But I'll say it anyway because I'm honest and authentic. You know, there might be a time where I stop making Digimon content. You know, I don't know the future, but I know I don't want to do this in 10 years. You know what I mean? So I'll make the content I want to make. I would love for this channel to transition back into what it was when it first started, but we're not in that time in the world anymore. Economic crisis and shit, and inflation going crazy, GDP not being good, all this garbage. Anyway, moving on. Ruggles, Mario's gaming digital world coming soon. I most certainly hope so. That would be really great. I miss Ruggles. I miss him. Gotta see him more. Ashes Falls. I got to use the client, and I would say it was awesome. The only drawback is playing such an underrated format. Today's formats are better. Which Oreo X disagrees with. Yeah, you're never going to convince me that this format is the best format of Digimon. You're not. Don't try. But I also know that at this point in time, I'm not going to convince people like Ashes Falls that this format is cancer and toxic. We're at an impasse. I agree that we're going to agree to disagree. It's fine. But I'm glad I got to use the client, and I'm glad that people that use the client, for the most part, are happy with it. You know, I saw very little in the way of complaints, and I saw very much in the way of support and happiness, which you love to see. Noi Soy Sus. So not a single card game that has released as an app has ever been paid to download. Why would you even think that you have to pay for the app considered Master Duel MTG Pokemon are all free to play? I think I might have misworded something in the video I made about the Digimon app not appearing to have anything to buy. So I'm going to rephrase to clarify, in case I made a mistake. No, you're not going to pay to download the app, but they're probably going to have you pay for extra packs and all that stuff. That's what I think you're going to pay for. So if I worded that terribly in the previous video, I apologize. That's what I meant. You're not going to pay to download the app, but you're probably going to pay to buy packs, because it would be stupid not to have that as a feature. And the final comment today goes to Eddie. Me looking at BT5 Armageddonmon with all the unman hype, your time is now. Armageddonmon, you know, perhaps I could see it. I'd love to see it, actually. Maybe one day it'll happen. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll see you later. Bye!